Kia ora, boys and girls. Welcome to another episode of The Drop Clutch with me, Ricky V. In this series, I'm interviewing as many drummers, metal drummers specifically from around New Zealand to shine a light on these guys and girls and get a bit of an insight into what makes them tick. Now, tonight's episode is pretty exciting. It's a drummer from a band that is making some great noise and is really widely accepted and loved, and the chatter out there about them is going bananas. I have Dean Clinton from ABYSM. Dean, how you doing, bro?
Pretty good, man. How about you?
Oh, fantastic. Glad to have you here.
Good to be here.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. So to get us started, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about ABYSM. Give us a little bit of a background on the band.
Yeah, sure thing. So I'm Dean. I'm the drummer in ABYSM. We've been active for quite some time. We haven't really achieved that much considering the amount of time we have been active. But basically, we were formed in 2018. Our bassist, Liam Buckley, I've been friends with him for quite some time. I played in high school bands with him. And he basically hit me up and said that his previous band, Psychoclasm, had just split up. And that band consisted of Grant and Boyd and Liam. And basically they split up and they said, hey, let's keep the music going. Do you know a drummer? And then Liam basically referred those guys to me. And we had a few jam sessions, and it took about like 2 years to establish ourselves, and even 2 years to decide on the name ABYSM. And yeah, after that time, we started gigging, and that's basically where we are now. That's our journey.
Awesome. Tell us, Dean, what got you started drumming? How long have you been drumming, and what got you started?
So I've been drumming since I was a young teenager, actually. I started when I was around 12. It's a bit of a funny story, actually.
Sure.
Um, when I was a kid, my mum purchased us like a Rock Band game where they have like the whole like musical instruments and just the bass game, and it was mainly for my sister. But the Rock Band drums were always empty. No one wanted to touch that instrument, but I always kind of revolved to that, and I just got really into the game, and I just started mastering all the songs. Eventually, I built my way up the ranks, went from easy all the way to expert, and I was just nailing these songs. And when I got into high school, eventually they were like, "Oh, my parents said, do you want to take it seriously?" And they purchased me a full drum kit, my first one. And that's where I actually got to get on the kit for the first time. And basically, I learned so much from the game that all the beginner lessons I essentially skipped. I already had a sense of rhythm. I had like a vocabulary, and I picked it up real quick. And I was mostly self-taught. I had a few lessons from a few mates of my mum's, but other than that, I just really got into it in high school, got into the progressive side of it, got into Dream Theater, and eventually it
Nice.
just spiraled up, and I got even more extreme and got into the death metal and the blast beats like I am now.
Sure. Sure.
But yeah,
Uh,
that's basically the story.
nice. Yeah, people like to shit on Guitar Hero and Rock Band and all that kind of stuff, but it really
Yeah,
is a great gateway. I can almost guarantee there's thousands of musicians around the world that got their start at 8, 9, 10 years old playing those kind of games. I guarantee it.
absolutely, man.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
as silly as they are, like we've got a Guitar Hero, got a PS3 set up in the lounge with a couple of the different Guitar Heroes, and me and the family like to jam them out every now and then. So no,
It's a
they're
fun
all right.
game, man.
It really is.
It's cool to
Oh,
get on the piss and play with your mates, and they have good songs on it too.
fuck yeah. What was your favorite? If you had to pick
I,
one.
if I had to pick one, it would have been Panic Attack by Dream Theater.
Sure.
I used to just practice that so much, and that's actually how I learned the song.
Oh,
Is
true.
on expert difficulty, they are tracked like the exact same as the way Mike plays it.
Wow, Jesus. That's insane,
You can
man.
learn a lot, man.
Yeah, and how old were you when you were able to play it on expert?
I was like 13.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Bro,
I,
far out.
that's how I picked up heel toe on the pedals.
Okay, sure,
Yeah, it was,
sure.
and I my left foot, it's still lax to this day because it does nothing. There's only one pedal,
Yes.
so there's no hi-hat clutch. I had to learn how to like use a hi-hat and everything. That was the steepest learning curve.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Yeah,
Well, obviously, notwithstanding rock band, whose style has influenced your playing the most?
I've got to say that would go to Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater.
Sure.
I really, really got into that guy when I was in high school, and I got into progressive music, but he would be my number one. Even to this day, I love smashing out Dream Theater songs when I
Hmm.
practice.
Yeah, that's another one, just like rock band, who it's kind of popular now, or like in the last 5 years or so, it's been popular to shit on Portnoy, but people forget
Mm,
what he was doing for the time that he was doing it. He
yep,
was,
true.
yeah, amazing, absolutely amazing. Well, can you tell us some of your favorite drummers aside from Portnoy?
Aside from Portnoy, the next one up would be Mario Duplantier from Gojira.
Gojira, yeah,
That guy, man, I got to credit him for all my endurance training and getting into speed. That was my main influence for wanting to play really fast on the double kicks. And Hannes Grossman from
mm,
Necrophagist. I also love that guy. And I also quite like Gavin Harrison from Porcupine Tree. I'm a huge fan of him and just
sure,
his grooviness, man. It's so
yeah,
tasty.
lots of dynamics with him, eh?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Oh, very nice. Well, I'm imagining that you will have seen a few drummers live at this point. Can you
Yeah, yeah.
maybe pick out a couple that has been your favorite to watch live?
Favorite to watch. Um, I actually haven't seen that many like international bands.
Okay.
I mostly see like local bands. But I'll just name some Kiwi drummers. I
Yeah. Fuck it.
really enjoy watching Jamie from Ulceret. That guy's just a monster. He just
Ridiculous.
yeah, it really is absolutely insane like how talented that dude is. He's a pleasure to watch. Also, the new drummer from Blindfolded, I think his name's
Sure.
Anthony Kuta. That dude
Yeah.
is really fun to watch.
Crazy, eh?
I've really enjoyed like seeing his skills and how he's kind of learned and his take on the new material.
Cool. Well, how would you describe your style?
My style, I would say it's quite technical and progressive, but
Extremely.
I still like to keep that groove, man. I guess I still like to have fun behind the kit and not all keep it like just straight. Just have some jazz to it, I like to say.
Jazz.
Yep,
Was
probably.
Zaz, right? And some
Yeah,
jazz.
yeah, man.
Well, following on.
Not that I listen to jazz, but I don't know, that's the closest word I could pick, to be honest.
Sure, sure. Well, following on from that, what is the writing process for ABYSM? Because, I think you're maybe underselling it a little bit, just how crazy you guys get with time signatures and counts and feels and changes. It's, very
Mm.
eclectic what you play from one bar to the next. So, what is that writing process like? How do you guys come up with what you play?
It's all basically like home comps, we like to say. So every song either one of the guitarists has written just by himself using Guitar Pro, and they track it out, they write the riffs. It depends on what guitarist. They all have their different ways of recording demos, and basically they tab it out and then they send me a Guitar Pro file which has like programmed drums to it, and they just give me free reins to do whatever the hell I want on the drums. And I come up with some preliminary parts, but it means nothing until you actually get with the whole band and jam the song in person.
Mm,
That's where a lot of the final touches and a lot of the polishing up happens. But it's all ho comps. Like we have never jammed and written stuff on the spot. It's a bit weird, but I guess modern times.
sure. Modern problems, modern solutions, right? So do they
Yeah,
write full songs and then send it through and you come up with the
yeah,
drums?
yeah, man, exactly that.
Sure.
And
Cool.
a lot of songs have been scrapped because the way we do things that way, we do have like a lot of disagreements and stuff. And because yeah, guitarists just some of them like some of their songs, it's like their babies, man. Like they don't want to change many things on them.
Mm,
And
yes,
each member in the band and ABYSM all has their own different style.
sure. That definitely comes through on the writing.
Yep,
Definitely
yep.
comes through. Cool. Well, getting back to more focusing on the drum aspect of it, is there a specific technique that you are practicing or working on improving at the moment?
There's a few. I'm always trying to learn new stuff. I've really been trying to nail uh the double strokes on the pedals
Sure.
because at the moment I play swivel and I've kind of maxed out at the 230 tempo, and I feel like I can't really go any higher than that, otherwise I'd be fucking my knees. But yeah, it's double strokes. It's going to take me a long time to pick it up, but also those linear fills. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about,
Oh
but where they
yeah,
play, where they're hitting like it's like right hand, the right foot, and left hand, left foot. It's like doing that all over the kit.
yeah. Single strokes on each limb, but oh,
Yeah, man, it's
yeah.
crazy independence. I've been trying to learn that for probably over a year, and I'm making progress, but it's fucking difficult, man.
Sure. Have you applied it to a song that you guys are writing yet, or are you still just fucking around with it
No,
first?
definitely not, man. I just can't play it fast enough.
I mean,
I can play it.
you just spoke about doing 230 with swivel, man. That's pretty fast.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so now we're going to play a game that I call First, Last, Best, and Worst. So tell us what your very first gig was. Tell us what your last gig was. The best show that you've ever played, and then the worst show that you've ever played. And that can be the worst show, or it can be like a worst or funniest moment behind the kit. Either or works. So we'll start with the first show that you ever played, Dean.
Okay, the first show, it would probably be, it would have been my sister's 21st. I got to say, like first like metal show. It was, I would have been like maybe 17 at the time, and it was when I had this band called Velvet Strain in high school, and yeah, we just played under a marquee, house party. Just moved, rolled in our amps, and I set up my drum kit, and we basically just played a whole bunch of covers. It was a few originals, but that would be my first show. My last show would have been, I think it was your gig you put together.
Oh yeah. Was it Finis Omnium? Did I have you guys on there?
Yeah, that was the one.
That was
That
a
would have been the last gig.
best show I've ever put on by far in terms
Absolutely,
of
man. It's
numbers through the
such a good
door.
turnout,
Oh
and
man,
all the bands, man.
yeah, fantastic gig. I'm definitely going to make that an annual thing. So excited
Absolutely, you
for
should.
yeah, but I'm also a little bit nervous. I was saying to Ben from Valhalla afterwards, I was like, I got no fucking idea how I'm going to top this next year because yeah, that was something special. That was to toot my own horn for just a
Yep.
second. Cool. So
Yeah.
what was the best show that you ever played?
So the best show, I actually I did think about this because I watched a few of your other interviews.
My man.
So I've kind of cheated a bit, but it's got to go to the Smash Fest, man. That was just phenomenal. Like it, not just for the show, but for the like after show hangs and just because it was a 2 night thing. We played on the first night. The second night, we just had free reins to get fucked up and not worry about going on stage. And we never get to do that, man. We always play gigs, and then often we drive back the same night and we're knackered. We don't actually get to hang out as a band. And that time we bonded and we set up a tent and everything, and it was fucking mean, man. That's got to be my number one show.
For sure. It's a shame that it
Smash
finished, man.
Fest 2020 or something.
Mm. Uh, yeah, 2020, because we also played on that show as well. And similar story, we played second on the first night. So second band up,
Oh yeah,
not the opener, and then it was just free reign for the whole weekend. And
yeah,
so
man.
yeah, the following morning I cracked my first drink at 8:30 a.m. and lit up my first doobie at 9 a.m. and then 11:30 p.m. that night. So 10-ish hours later or 14 hours later.
Yep.
I was still I was still there enjoying the bands, but I was getting a bit of a sway on. It was
Yeah,
an
man.
experience. But yeah, it
Party's
was
still going.
oh yeah, it was amazing. It's a shame that it had to finish. Hopefully
I
they'll
know.
get to bring it back, but something like that is so expensive to run, man. It really is.
I know, man. It's all my respect goes to Steven Stella. It was
Mm, for
amazing.
sure.
And to think they did that for like 10 years is crazy.
Wow. For the love of the game, right? For the love of the game.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
And lastly, what was the worst show that you've played or funniest behind the kit moment? Worst, funniest behind the kit moment?
For that one, it would probably have to go to a show we did with Bullet Belt. They'll know the show for sure. But we played at in like a small town outside of Rotorua. It's like Nogataha or something. And
Oh,
it was
yeah.
at like at like a pokies bar, and it was like almost no crowd. It was all just like local construction guys who were just, having a few beers after work. It was a Friday night, and there was like no kit supplied when we got there because one of the other openers opted to supply the kit, and he finally showed up, and it was like the worst drum kit you've ever seen, man. Like his hardware was rusted. Like it was only a two piece. Like the snare drum didn't even fit on the snare stand. We had to tape up the snare stand.
Oh, no.
The whole kit was covered in rust. It was like it was from the 90s, man.
Oh, no.
And that's what me and Steve had to use. And after I played the show, like I just felt like absolute crap, man. Like it was a massive stage too, and hardly any crowd. Like no one
Mm,
really knew about it, and the kits mainly ruined that. But it was a bit funny to look back on.
sure. An experience, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Sure. Well, this is the part of the show where we're going to round it out here. You get to plug your band, of course, plug anything that you've got up, and make any shout outs to any people around that you want to say what's up to.
Sure thing. I'll shout out the band first. All the guys I work with, like Grant, Boyd, and Liam, just amazing dudes, and it's my pleasure to do what we do. And I want to give a special shout out to Liam, our bassist. He's um he's got two bands going at the moment. One's Carrion Bride, and the other one is Lethargic. It's like his own little project he started, which he originally wanted me to play drums on, but I eventually had to turn it down because I kind of have like a one band policy for myself, just so I'm not splitting priorities. But yeah, I got to give a shout out to him and that band. Definitely check them out because they're doing great things, and it's along the same lines as ABYSM. It's grindcore, and it's all got him writing the songs too. And I got to give a shout out to my partner Taylor. She just helps out so much, like even at gigs and everything, like helping with the gear and just supporting me so much with my music endeavors. And shout out to everyone that's checked out our new EP we dropped. So stoked on the reception from that. Yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, hey, man, shout out to your missus. There's an old saying that behind every great man is a greater woman. And me being married, been with my wife for well over a decade now, coming up on 14 years in a couple of months. And through her, everything is possible. So I feel you on that one, bro, for real.
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dean, for playing along, being here, man. This has been real fucking awesome, bro. I appreciate your time so much. Thank you
No
to
problem.
everybody. Hey, my man. Thank you to everybody who has watched this. We've got some really exciting episodes coming up over the Christmas New Year period. So keep an eye out for those. Thank you all. See you later.